Well, welcome to Level Up. As you guys know, we're starting this one-time series. So I just wanted to hopefully not hurt myself and be able to. All right. Yeah, you could clap for me. Thank you. I was actually fearing for my life there for a minute. It's not the same like when you can do it a million times, but when you actually have to do it, it's not the same. But anyway, so yeah, welcome to Level Up. So you guys might be wondering, why am I riding my bike around, right? But it actually goes directly into what I'm going to speak about tonight. And it's completely related to level up, right? Leveling up. You know, how many of you, first of all, I just want to, the worship team, they did amazing tonight. So first of all, it's great how they, every week, they come, they practice, they work extremely hard each and every week to be able to just be able to lead you guys in worship, right? And actually, that's part of leveling up, right? That's part of doing what it takes to actually be able to get closer to what God is calling us to do. So when it comes to leveling up, right, I was thinking, a lot of stuff like, what am I going to talk about, right? And, obviously you can see mountain biking is one of my things that I've been doing for a few years. I've leveled up in mountain biking. We don't always ride like that. It takes time. It takes practice. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my coaching journey, right? Because as you guys know, we all have to learn from something, right? And as you guys remember, when we're little kids, right, the first thing that we do is we spectate, right? We look at whoever we look up to. It could be, you might have, there might be little kids that might be looking up to their older siblings, right? As an example, it could be a terrible example, but that's what they're gonna learn, right? We also look at different things, right? Maybe if you guys are into sports, right? Maybe there's a certain player that you look up to and that you someday would wanna, whatever sport it is, be able to do what they do, right? So since we're little, we're always looking, and the first people we look up to is the people that are raising us, right? And from tiny little babies, right? We're looking, from first steps to walking, right? To actually at one point be able to ride a bike, right? So a huge part of learning, like I said, is just following. It's looking at people, and we're looking at examples. If I read Proverbs 22:6, it says, "Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it." Okay? So basically, as a coach, right, my job is to be able to lead whoever I'm coaching. Again, this could be as a parent, this could be in a sport, this could be at church, this could be in many ways, right? Because just because you're a coach doesn't mean you're a sports coach, right? A coach is somebody that, it could be a dietitian, it could be a doctor, it could be fitness, it could be whatever, right? It's somebody that is going to lead you into, to hopefully become a better version of yourself, right? So it says, direct your children onto the right path. So as a coach, our main job is for us to be able to lead people in the right path, okay? That's all of your jobs, believe it or not, because, again, as we grow, our job is not to stay where we are. Our job is to grow in knowledge. Our job is to become better, and our job is to share those things, right? So let me ask you a question. How many of you know how to ride a bike? All right, let me ask a little bit different. Does anybody not know how to ride a bike? Wow, really? All right. All right, talk to me after service, all right? We'll give you some biking lessons for free, all right? Let's do that. But it's funny because most people know how to ride a bike, right? Probably more than swimming, right? I mean, to me, biking was like my first way to mobilize, right? When I was a teenager, I went everywhere, and I know some of you do. You're constantly on a bike. You go everywhere, and that's your transportation, right? We didn't have Uber back then, right? Like Uber didn't exist. It wasn't a choice. You see either your parents or ride your bike. We didn't have cell phones either, which was great because it'll be like, okay, I'll see you at dinner, right? That was it. That was it. Your parents couldn't track you on your phone. None of that cool stuff that we can do today. But have you guys ever heard the term, it's like riding a bike? Because riding a bike is supposed to be simple, right? Well, maybe not for some of you, right? But it's supposed to be pretty simple. So the term, it's like riding a bike means, it's something that you learn. Even if I learned how to ride a bike when I was 5, I can be 40 and I can still ride a bike, right? Even if I probably never jumped on a bike after that, you never forget it, right? So it's one of those skills. But again, we got to start from the basics. So I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of how do we start, right? All right. So obviously no, you can keep that picture up there. That's okay. So this is how we start, right? We can't start on 2 wheels, right? Because most likely it won't be fun, right? This is my daughter, by the way. She's back there, yeah. Yeah, wasn't she cute? All right. But anyway, so usually we start in a tricycle, right? Because we got 3 wheels, right? They kind of keep us in balance. Show the next picture. Yeah, we'll embarrass them. All right, that's Derek. So that's Derek, yeah, but it's true. That's how we start, right? We start in a tricycle. At that point, he probably couldn't even pedal. They just kind of like push with their feet, right? But again, as we start, this is how we start learning new skills, and eventually we level up to go to the next step, right? And one of the proudest moments as a parent is actually when you don't have to keep that picture up there anymore. But one of our proudest moments as a parent is actually when we finally go from that to training wheels, right? So can you put some of those training? And this is. Yeah, as you guys can see, Daisy was already out of her training wheels, right? But that's kind of the next step. You get a regular bike. You feel like I'm bigger now. I ride a bike, not a tricycle, right? But you still got the training wheel, so it's actually a quadricycle or whatever you call it, right? Because it's got 4 wheels. But anyway, so you ride with training wheels, right? And the purpose of training wheels is that as you're riding, right, you can kind of keep it straight. Ideally, you kind of keep it on the wheel. You don't, I would always tell them, try not to hit the training wheels, right? Which it's not that easy. And so that's the next step, right? But again, we keep on training, right? And that's one of the main things where training comes into play, So that's how we succeed. We train, right? We train. But what happens is that when we train individually, right? If I try to self-teach myself something, yeah, I can probably do it. You can probably look at some YouTube videos on how to ride a bike, right? Or skateboarding. I don't know if any of you skateboard, right? But it looks a lot easier on YouTube. They're like, how in the heck did you do that? You know what I mean? Because obviously you're looking at a film of how to do it, but somebody's not really watching you and telling you, you know what? This is exactly what you're doing wrong, right? Because when you're training as an individual, right, you might be able to learn and know the instructions and know how to do that, in theory, right? But once you do it, there's a lot of things that you don't see, right? But when you look as a coach, right, when you're training with somebody else and you're looking as a coach, that coach is looking at you and he's telling you, you know what? I know exactly what you're doing wrong. I know exactly what you need to improve, I know exactly what's missing, for you to become better. I know exactly what it is because I'm looking from a different perspective, okay? And eventually, we train, right? We train and we train as a group. That's what having a coach is so important, okay? So let's look at what happened after some coaching, right? How my son, how he finally was able to ride without training wheels. So if you guys can put that video. Oh, he's trying to play camera and video at the same time.
Is it on?
Yeah, cuidado, Daisy, can you?
Today is the day where Derek learns how to ride without training wheels.
Cool.
And he's only 4 years old.
Yay!
He's almost 5.
Wow.
It's going to be in October
18.
18.
Okay, you ready?
All right, ready.
Okay. Go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Look at Derek go. He's very good. Isn't he good, Mom?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go with Daddy.
Okay. I know, he's doing good. All right, Derek.
Derek's doing the best in the whole wide world.
All right, Derek. Go to the
So anyway, so that's what happens. Yeah, I didn't show them this video this week. I was hiding it from them. I don't even think they remembered, but it's cool to see old stuff, and of course, Daisy being the narrator of the video made it just even better. But it's true, right? So he got to that point how? Watching, doing. Maybe, I'm sure as a parent, I gave him some coaching. We used to go camping all the time. We used to ride around, and eventually it just it becomes second nature to ride a bike, right? But again, we don't stop there, right? We have to keep on learning, right? So a couple years ago, Derek decided to join a mountain biking team. Right before COVID, we started riding together in the summer. We would actually go and we would ride at Markham Park. There's a great place to ride, and we spent all summer there. And they were like, we didn't even know there was a mountain biking team in the school anyway. It's almost like one of those teams that it's never anywhere, but it's there, right? Right? All right, we get no advertisement, by the way. All right? But anyway, so I finally, we got something. I'm like, oh, mountain biking team, Derek, dude, what the heck? Let's do it, right? Well, not let's do it. You do it, all right? All right? I got suckered in later. That's a different story. So anyway, so he decided to join, right? And this is how we started. Show me that team pic. All right, so this is kind of the beginning. That's our first season. As you can see, we actually only had 8 riders, right? We practiced, a lot of practice actually from December. The season starts in December. We do the racing in February. It's kind of February till May. All right, so that's kind of our season, which is at least as nice as not in the middle of when it's super hot. Okay, but I thought it was a great idea, right? So this year, as our team, actually, right in the middle of the season, obviously I was a dad. I was just watching. I love to ride my bike. I couldn't take it anymore, right? I'm like, I can't be on the sidelines just watching. It's just not me, right? So I'm like, oh, how can I ride with them? And the head coach is like, well, you got to be a coach. Like, okay, would you like me to send you, a request? I'm like, do it. I'm there, right? So then slowly I became, assisting. Obviously, I never coach mountain biking. It's just those things that you just kind of do growing up or whatever, but never really, learn anything specific, right? So again, I became part of the team. So this year I was in everything. From the beginning, we actually had a time where we went to the school, we had a meeting, we had a lot of kids interested. So to make a long story short, we actually have 3 girls on the team, and I asked one of the girls, I asked her, why did you join the mountain biking team? And because I was curious, right? Because why? Like, why would you choose mountain biking? I mean, there's a lot of sports out there. Like, why would mountain biking be a thing? And she told me, you know what, Coach? She says, I did it because it was the only sport that all I needed to do was sign up. I didn't have to try out. I could just be part of the team. I'm not going to be sitting in a bench. If I'm not good enough, I actually get to ride, right? And I was like, wow, that stuck to me for months, and I've repeated that to many of you, and I told that story because to me it was impactful, right? Like it actually gave it even more value to my team. I'm like, oh, wow, okay, I got meaning for this team, right? Which it was a team where you can just go and be part of that team. You don't even have to race if you don't want to, okay? You just go to the practices to learn and to ride. And if racing is your thing, then you can sign up and do racing as a team, right? So it was awesome to know that this team was a team that accepted every single person that wanted to be on that team, right? And that goes to my first point. This was a team for all right? It was a team for all of us. Didn't matter what it was. And then I was thinking even further, I go, well, isn't this like being a Christian? Like where if I want to be part of a church, if I want to be part of a youth group, if I want to be part of God's team, I just need to show up. I don't have to try out. I don't have to do anything special because God wants me the way I am. He just wants me to show up. He welcomes me with open arms, just like our mountain biking team did. You know what I mean? I don't require anything special. It's exactly the same. Anybody can be part of this team. Anybody can be part of this team. If we look at Ephesians 1:5, it says, God decided in advance to adopt us into his own family by bringing us to himself through Jesus Christ. This is what he wanted to do, and it gave him great pleasure. He wanted to adopt us into his family. That's why he sent Jesus, right? He sent Jesus. I mean, we're getting ready for Good Friday tomorrow, right? Where Jesus did the ultimate sacrifice so every single one of you can be welcome in his kingdom. Every single one of you. There's no exceptions. If you want it, you got it. You want in this team, you got it. Okay? You got it. There's no qualifications. He wanted to adopt us into his team. If we look in Ephesians 2:8-9, it says, for it's by the grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourselves, it is a gift for God, a gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. It's a gift. And he gave it to you as a gift, and it's very simple because sometimes when somebody gives us a gift, and I go, what's in it? Why is it free? Like nothing's ever free, right? Because we look at free stuff, and I mean, everybody loves free stuff, right? But usually there's strings attached, right? Well, this is the only time where you can actually say there's absolutely no strings attached, right? All you have to do is accept him by faith in your heart. Know that he died for you on that cross so you can be saved. That's what God did for you. That's what God did for you. He sent his son to die for you. So a team for all, right? But some of the important things is that as a team, and I was talking to you guys, a team keeps you accountable, right? We need to be part of the team. We can't be loner Christians because there's no way to grow. Just like I said, you can learn a lot of things online today, right? But there's nobody there to point your faults out, right? Everybody loves to be, when people tell you what your faults are, right? No, it's not fun, right? But that's the people that actually love you. That's the people that actually care for you, right? It's when they tell you. That's what's important about a team. Somebody that will coach you. The team itself builds up the team, okay? And it allows you to overcome a lot of obstacles. I'm going to show you a video of some of the obstacles that we've been able to overcome doing our mountain biking. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Read that scripture, by the way.
Resuming ride.
gonna tell you guys, 2 years ago, I could not do that ride, right? When we first started, it was, you don't even know how many times like we ate it, right? Going down some of those drops. But again, it just takes time. It takes practice. It takes training, right? Even an old guy like me can learn how to do that with training, right? But anyway, it's important that we grow in our skills, right? That we improve our skills in everything that we do. But the most important part, because, what good is it when you learn your skills if you don't share those skills, right? What good is it? You can know the Bible left and right, but if you don't share what you've learned, right, it's completely useless, right? If based on what you've learned here from all the speakers and everybody that's been pouring into you for months, for years, for whatever, right? If you don't take that knowledge and teach it to somebody else, that knowledge is useless. Yeah, it'll be great for you, but it won't be good for anybody else, right? That's why it's important. And that brings me to our next point. Actually, first, I'm going to read 1 Corinthians 12:26. And the part of a team is if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices. So that means as a team, we fall together, we pick ourselves up together, we rejoice together, we cheer together, we have fun together, right? We do things together. That's what a team is about. So my second point is grow your team, okay? So first point was a team for all, right? You can come in here, you can be part of this team, it takes 0 qualifications. But the next part, after you do the training and you learn and you do you do everything that you learn, you need to grow your team, right? You don't want to keep this to yourself. Just like, imagine I was a mountain biking coach, right? And I learned a mountain bike, right? And I mean, it's great for myself. I can ride a mountain bike all day long, right? But how much more valuable is it if I can spread that knowledge that I've learned and I can teach it to younger riders, right? And again, somebody that, our head coach, he's a professional cyclist. I'm not, right? But in 2 years, I've learned enough where I can take all those beginners, all those intermediates, and bring them to a next level, right? I might not be able to bring them to pro, but he can, right? But again, you're learning, right? So as we acquire new skills, there's a couple of different things. There's a couple of ways that we can teach new skills. In our biking, it's called NICA. It's actually it's on this side. I don't know where it is, but whatever. It's on this side. The way we teach and the way they teach us as coach is we tell it, we show it, we do it, and we review it, right? That's the way that's our teaching steps, right? You tell it, meaning you instruct people how to do it, just like you watching YouTube videos and great, right? You show it. Okay, you can do that part in a YouTube video also, right? But then I have to do it to show them exactly in front of me how this skill is done. And at the end, we review. We review things, see what they did right, see what they did wrong, right? Again, that's a part that you don't get if you're not being coached. That's a part that you don't get unless you have somebody, a mentor, somebody that's with you, somebody that's telling you what you exactly are doing wrong. In Scouts, we have something similar. It's called the EDGE method. Explain, demonstrate, guide, enable. Same exact thing, right? It's just said in a completely different way. But that's the way. We have to model, right? As Christians, one of the most important things that we do is we model. We model by the way we act. We model by the way we live. We model by the way we act in school, right? That's how people are going to judge us as Christian anyway, right? Are you being two-faced and being one person or another? I'm sure many of us have done it. I've done it plenty of times, okay? But that is what's important, okay? So actually, I'm sorry, I'm going to put my son on the spot, and he truly hates this, but I'm going to just bring you up 2 seconds and just ask you a quick question. Oh, I wish I had a mic. I forgot about a mic. Oh, look at that. This guy is like... So anyway, this is Derek, for you guys that don't know. He's like, look at that. He's like my height almost. All right? But anyway, so I kind of wanted to ask him a couple of questions because, it's great from my perspective, right? I see it great, but I kind of wanted to get a little bit of his perspective. And I had 2 questions for him. And one of the questions is, why? Because actually our team grew. We have 2 riders that actually came directly from his friends, right? His circle of friends. He invited 2 riders to come and join the team, and they actually ride with us this year, and they're actually very good. So why did you decide to invite your friends to join the mountain biking team?
So I invited my friends to do it because like I enjoy it, and I wanted to like share that I enjoy with others. And also it's just better with friends. You know, like you don't want to do stuff alone. So with friends, it makes it more fun.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, no, and it's true. That's a great answer. But it's true, right? It's better with friends, right? It's better with others when we get to do things together, right? So let me ask you another question, right? And because obviously as we were discussing this earlier, and as you got better, you also learned a lot of skills, right? So what skills have your friends learned about mountain biking from you?
So some skills that they learn is like I've taught them to lower their gear when they're climbing up stuff, because like when you're in a harder gear, it's really hard to go up. So I've taught them to like lower their gear, match their gears to like whatever they're going through. I've also taught them to keep their pedals leveled, because like a bad habit that most people have is they move like their pedals somewhere else and they hit like rocks or roots or anything. So yeah.
All right, great. Thank you, Derek. Thank you. You can take that with you. All right, so again, that's very, very simple. As you become part of a team, that's things that you do, right? He's able to see what these new riders are doing now, and he helps out the coaches, right? Because he's a more advanced rider now, right? But we have a lot of new people there. So let me read one more verse. It's Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 through 10, and it says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other one up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up." Dude, that verse to me is incredible, right? Because it just tells you, it's almost like saying, poor soul, if something happens to you and you don't have anybody to pick you up. One of my biggest fears is actually, would have been to get to like being an old person and not having anybody around you at all, right? Because it's sad, right? We've seen what lonely people look like. We've seen what, just people that sometimes maybe they didn't relate to others, and they never built a circle of people that they trusted. So guys, we need to grow our team, right? And what better way to grow your team than Easter, right? Because we know that, it's kind of sad to say, but we know that if somebody's going to come to church, it's going to be on Easter, right? Because, unfortunately, we have a lot of Christians that never come to church, but they come to church on Easter. So, yay, score for us. We're going to use that in our favor, all right? So you guys know that we need to level up. I want you guys to stop being spectators. I want you guys to start being coaches. I know there's a lot of things that you guys have learned. We have a lit team here that is leaders in training, and they've helped us out. They do a lot of the stuff that you guys see, a lot of the creative moments. They actually work and they meet and they come up with great ideas to make it, a better experience for you guys, okay? We need more of that, right? We need more of that. We need people to step up, okay? And a great way to step up is to, guess what? Bring your friends to church. Yeah, I know, church invite. Last time I spoke about church invites, I told you guys the worst thing you can do is invite kids to church. Well, it's not the worst thing you can do, but it's one of those really tough things to do, right? No, you want to invite them to something cool, right? Because most people are like, hey, come to church. Unless you see they have that need, then most likely they're going to tell you, yeah, right, church, But we have activities, right? Which next week, by the way, I'm making an announcement because you guys all know we have our Easter Fuego night, right? Which is going to be super cool. Everybody, yeah, you can clap for that. Guys, everybody's working extremely hard. A lot, our groups, our creative team, everybody's to make it a really cool experience for everybody. To be able to come, be able to enjoy, right? So that's a great opportunity. Just like our day in the park, we got one coming up May 28th. Yes, I'm organizing that one. Gabe's going to help me out. Right, Gabe? Yeah, you got that right. All right, so anyway, I'm recruiting as it goes. I don't waste any time. So it's going to be a fun time, right? It's a great time for people that come to church. They don't feel weird about, being at church or whatever. It's a great atmosphere, very easy. You bring them, you tell them they're gonna have fun. Just sell it out, all right? Don't sell it as, oh, you want to come to church. No, sell it. You want to come to this cool event that we're putting together in our youth group, blah, blah, blah. It's all how you say it, right? Be salespeople, all right? But anyway, this is a way to step up, right? A way to share what we have learned. If you think that God is doing great things in your life, why keep it to yourself, right? Well, don't be selfish, because the whole point is to share the gift, right? Share the gift, all right? So anyway, so that kind of concludes what I was going to talk about today. We're going to pray it out. Yes, I'm going to pray it out, and then I'm going to have a couple of announcements. Hopefully I remember them all. But yeah, let's pray first. Father God, we thank you so much for this opportunity to just be welcome into your team, God. Be welcome into your kingdom. That you send your son to die for us on that cross, God, as we celebrate tomorrow, God, that day. But then at the same time, we rejoice that 3 days later, God, we knew that he came back, God. We are so blessed, God, to have you in our lives, God. We're so blessed that you make, you just give us so much, God. We know there's so many people around the world, God, that have so many difficulties. They don't even live close. We have people in Ukraine. We have people in wars. We have, all kinds of issues, God, everywhere, where so many people are suffering, God. And we just thank you again, because no matter how little we have more than 90% of the world, God. And I know, God, we're just extremely blessed, God. So I just wanted to thank you. I wanted to pray for every single one of these teens, God, and our leaders, God. And I wanted to just, just for you to, I just pray that they will get encouraged, God, that they would get encouraged to be able to share what they've learned, what they learn every Thursday coming here, God, and they'll be able to share this with their friends, especially with their close circle of friends, God. We know there's so many people in need. We know there's so many people that need to hear a message, God, of hope, because there's so many people that are hopeless today. We thank you again, God. I thank you for this opportunity to bring this message, God, and I pray all this in your name. Amen. All right.
That teaching was so awesome. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We want to make sure to remind you guys to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because there's tons and tons of great content on our student page. We also want to let you guys know that if you want any more information about Oasis Students and Oasis Church, make sure you guys visit oasis.org/Oasis Students for any information you guys may need, and we hope to see you guys soon in the future.